Hello and welcome back to Lessons in Attachment. I'm Carly Ann, therapist and attachment coach. Whether you're brand new here or returning, welcome or welcome back. It's genuinely an honor to have you here. I know there are so many podcasts out there, and so the fact that you're here, I don't take that for granted at all. Okay, the agenda for this episode. We're going to explore when your inner critic tends to show up the loudest, especially if you struggle with anxiety, anxious attachment, low self esteem. I'm going to share a list of common triggers. I'll share a personal story about my own inner critic and stay with me till the end because, as always, you get so much value from my podcast. Towards the end, I will guide you through simple, grounded steps to start noticing and responding differently to that critical voice. And actually, before we do dive in, if you've got something coming up at the moment, so these are times that, your inner critic can really step in. So let's say a date, a difficult conversation, a work thing, a moment where you know that you need to show up, where you want to feel more confident. You don't want the overthinking, the self-consciousness to take over. Yeah, that obsessiveness about ourselves and how we're coming across. You know, the inner critic might get loud. I highly recommend going back and listening to the episode that's right before this one, the one I've just released, just wherever you're watching this, YouTube or the podcast, it will be the one before, because it's a guided motivational pep talk from me, and it's created to help ground you, to guide you, to boost your confidence, to boost your self-esteem. Sometimes we can't access that ourselves, and having the guidance from someone else is so powerful. So if you're feeling anxious or you just need that boost today, look for the guided confidence boost, motivation and calm for when you're nervous and overthinking. It's perfect for when you need to be bold. Today, we're talking about the inner critic. I want to talk to you about that internal voice that creeps in, usually at the times when you need confidence the most or you need kindness the most. It's that voice that whispers mean, harsh words to you. It whispers doubts, criticism, shame. Quite often, like I say, it's just as you're trying to show up. Maybe when you want to take a risk or make a change, or you feel like this could be a time where things are going to work out well. The inner critic. I really, really want this episode to give you a clearer idea of when your inner critic is likely to be at its worst. Yeah. So, when are the times in our day to day life that the volume on our inner critic is likely to be turned up? There are times where it seems to be that our critic goes wild. For many of us, if we struggle with worry, low self esteem, anxious attachment, that inner critic can be really, really harsh, and you often just believe it. You've internalized it as if it's true. So it shows up as anxiety. It shows up in feeling stuck. It stops us from making big decisions, and it stops our happiness. I think that understanding when the critic tends to show up is a really important step in releasing it, in getting it out of that driver's seat. So my hope for you is that this kind of awareness supports you to reduce how intense those critical thoughts feel and to lessen their impact on your mood and your actions. So at this point in your journey and you doing the work, you're probably aware of the inner critic. You know what it is, but I want to expand that. I want to give you, I guess, even more awareness, because the truth is this: your inner critic does not run the show, does not make the, well, it may be making the decisions, but we no longer want it to make the decisions in your life. You can learn to catch it. You can learn to question it. You can respond with more kindness and understanding. and you can prevent the inner critic from standing in your way any longer. For some of you, your inner critic isn't there 100% of the time. For some of you, it probably feels like it is. It might feel like it is just there randomly and that it's floating around in the background 24/7, really interfering with your confidence, your well being, your decision making. But the reality is also this: your inner critic very likely spikes in really specific, emotionally charged situations. And unless you're aware of those triggers, it's going to run your life. So these situations are put forward by Matthew McKay and Patrick Fanning. And when I read them, I just literally thought, yes, I have got to share this. I've got to share this on the podcast, because these are the moments where you lose yourself. You could be having, I don't know, a great time. You could be feeling more confident, and then you find yourself in one of these situations, and suddenly these old wounds surface, the same stories start going around your mind. And I just feel like when we know that, it makes such a difference. So I'm going to read out the list, and all I want you to do is just think to yourself, which of these relate to me the most? It might be that you hear these and you're like, I get anxious, I get nervous in all of them. Don't judge yourself about that. Just think, okay, great. Now I know that. It might be that you just think, okay, there's one or two of these that I really relate to. So, okay, great. I can work with that as well. So here's the list from Matthew McKay and Patrick Fanning. When you're meeting strangers, when you're in contact with someone you find sexually attractive, when you've made a mistake, when you're being criticized or feel defensive, when you're around authority figures, when you've been hurt or someone is angry with you, when you're facing possible rejection or failure. And this one hits really deep. When you're talking to parents or anyone who feels disapproving. So take a breath. Which of those land for you the most? Which ones do you relate to? When does your nervous system go into overdrive? And without even noticing, you've got those mean, harsh stories going around your mind, telling you in some way that you're not good enough, that this always happens to you. Don't even bother trying. You should just stay quiet. You're going to mess this up. These are the situation where that inner critic is taking over. The volume has been turned up. It's not just gently offering you feedback. It's not encouraging you. It's not telling you it's okay that this criticism is coming your way. It's not who you are. And listen, those of you who have low self-esteem and struggle with your self-worth, that is what happens. It's not like you hear something critical and you're able to be like, okay, well, that's just one thing. For you, it becomes like your whole being. It becomes, I always mess things up. I never do well. I am a bad person. I am useless. It becomes your whole being. And you forget about you as an individual, what else makes you you. And you just hear this one thing and make it about who you are as a whole person. Make it reflect something really awful about yourself, usually. And in some way, it makes you inferior, not good enough, other people better. And then you end up on this loop. And here's the thing: when your inner critic gets louder, you may freeze, you may run, you may get defensive, you begin to act out of character. And as with everything, I really believe that your critic isn't telling the truth. This is coming from fear. This is coming from wanting to protect you. There was a time early in my career when I had to present at a team meeting. It was like a 10-minute slot, nothing wild. I was great at my job. I had been chosen to deliver this, but my inner critic, it was screaming, you're going to forget everything. People are going to see right through you. Other people are wondering why you've been chosen. You're too young. You're too emotional. You're not professional enough. All of these things. And that's not what my secure self believed. When I was asked to do it, I knew I could do it. But as it got closer to the time, it's almost like this doubt started to increase. It's not what anyone else said to me, but that voice was so loud, and I hadn't yet learned to catch it. It's on reflection that I really, really see. Like looking back, I think I don't think I enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy that opportunity because of that. I think afterwards, I was still thinking I did a bad job, even though the feedback was not like that. And I've got a million more stories like that, and I'm sure you do as well. It's no way to live, and we don't have to live like that. That's what I know now for sure. Thinking about that list, the ones that are relatable to you, I want you to shift from awareness into action. You probably know that I am someone who thinks, information is great. We need to learn. It's a huge part of doing the work. We can get great aha moments, but if we really want long-term change, we have to shift into action. So I want to invite you to do three things this week. Firstly, you need to pick the situation from the list that you relate to the most, just one. Maybe it's interacting with authority figures. Maybe it's like feeling like you're at risk of rejection. But the second thing I want you to do is get really, really curious when it happens. What I mean by get curious is start to tune into the thoughts without judgment. Tune into the thoughts that come up. Are they kind? Are they critical? I'm guessing so. And what do they say? How do they shut you down? What are the words? Get really specific. The third step is I want you to name it, then meet it. When you spot the critic coming up, literally say, there you are. I see you. I notice the part of me that's feeling critical. And then from a grounded place, you can ask, what is it that you are trying to protect me from? What would my secure self say instead? You don't need to shout over the critic. You don't need to argue, although I know it might feel like that. But you just need to stop treating it like it's the boss of you. You want to meet it with understanding. You can be assertive, but don't be mean, don't be harsh. You don't need to argue with it. It's like a small, scared child. Approach it like that, but name it, see it, and give it that compassion. Hopefully, from my podcast and from my tone, this doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to silence the inner critic forever to make progress. That's not possible. You just have to notice it, interrupt it, choose your next move from a secure place, not a fearful place. That's where the power really lies. It really lies in you knowing that you're still human, and humans have an inner critic. It's just that we can live with it. We can live with it and move towards what's important. We can live a bigger life. You have a feeling that there is more for you. And in order to reach that more, you're going to have to learn how to live with this critic. If you want to have healthy relationships, if you want to set boundaries, if you want to create an exciting life that you're proud of outside of your relationship, that's really important as well. Then you're going to need to know how to live alongside your inner critic. And remember, if this has been helpful in any way, go and listen to the episode right before this one that I mentioned at the start. Guided confidence boost, motivation and calm for when you're nervous and overthinking. If you've got something coming up, a date, a job interview, something where you need that boost of confidence, you definitely want to listen to that, and you want to save it for later as well, because you can listen to it over and over again. You deserve moments where you need a bit of strength and courage, and sometimes simply having someone in your ear telling you that you can do this is great when it comes to managing the inner critic. And there we go. We've reached the end of this episode. Like I said at the start, thank you for being here. If you want to dive into more, support like this, just explore my podcast. There are so many episodes. If you want some quick tips or just a bit of behind the scenes and to get to know me more, head over to my Instagram, carly.ann_. And if you want to know how to work with me, go to the description in this bio. In fact, all of the links are in the description. So take a bit of action and yeah, come and get to know me some more. And I will be back here very soon.